Okay guys, welcome back to Trader Weekly Updates. So I'm not going to elaborate much on the news this week because we have multiple geopolitical news coming up. We have this Brexit thing and stuff. So the news here is quite unlikely going to make a big impact to the market. However, I want you to pay a bit attention on the news that we have on Thursday because we're having news that is going to impact the euros and the US dollar pretty much, right? So this is the day where you want to take note on, and if there's a potential reversal or swing change of direction, it should happen around these days. However, of course, if there is a geopolitical tension coming out on Monday or Tuesday, then that is going to lead the way, right? So let's go to the charts. So we've been doing this for weeks, and we're going to start with the weekly chart first, right? So UK we closed bearish last week. Hong Kong we closed almost a doji, so I'll say that the market is a bit indecisive, but it's still more towards bullish. For Australia, finally we have a chance to short it. So we see a pin bar, right? A pin bar here, rejection from 650 areas. So that there is a possibility that the market is going to retest the 6400 area. So if you want to look for a short, maybe it's a good time to look for a short for this Australia index. However, if you want to be very very safe in the short, then at the very least wait for this 670 areas to break first, right? For S&P 500, things are still looking pretty good. But however, I did a check earlier before I record this. Things are not looking so good for this US 30 and Nasdaq. So the reason why S&P is closing, in the green territory is because there are 500 companies inside this indices, and probably it's the small caps that is holding on, right? So we're unlikely to see any reversal for this yet, but let's take a look at the daily price action. Let's go back to UK first. So let's take a look at UK 100. So what I can see here is that the market has swung up over the week, and we had a sloping support that held until Thursday. Thursday we see a pin bar, right? A pin bar, and on Friday, this to me is a confirmation of a reversal trend. So in the past, I did mention that if you want to look for a long, 6900 is a better place to long, right? So I can see here is this is the first wave, and it retraced all the way back up here, and now we're forming this is forming wave 2, and right now we are forming the third wave, which will eventually go down until 6900. So unless there is good news on the indices or things like that, market is very likely going to go further down and retest these 6900 areas for UK. So for Hang Seng, what I can see is that after a bullish breakout on last week, the market is trying its best to push back up. And what I can see from the previous week price action is that we have formed a pretty decent support around this area, the 26500 area. So if you want to look for a long, it's okay to enter here. It's okay to enter here. However, if it breaks, you have to cut loss, right? So it's still bullish looking. However, the market may go sideways or come down further to eat up people's stop loss before moving further up. Moving further up. Part of the reason is because I can see that the global indices are showing signs of reversal. So it doesn't make sense for Hang Seng to be pushing up when the other markets are coming down, right? So I'm a bit bearish bias on Hang Seng. So the Australia 200, just now what's mentioned earlier, it's time for us to look for some short despite this being a pretty decent support, I think if the market were to come back to 65 areas, this area, we can enter some short position all the way to around 6400. The S&P 500. So what we're seeing is that the market was slowly crawling up, you know, slowly crawling up. And if we take this as a sloping support, the market can still retest here and push further up, right? So unless there is news stating that the economy is going bad or things like that, I'm still pretty bullish on this S&P 500. However, Dow Jones seems to have a different idea. So if Dow Jones was to fall further, then S&P would definitely be impacted too, right? So based on this analogy, based on this analysis, I am a bit bearish bias on the S&P. So I personally feel that S&P is going to drop a little bit more to 2930 areas. Then we shall see which direction to take when it comes to this area. If there's signs of reversal, then we can long all the way up, or if there are signs of bearish continuation, then we can short all the way to 800. Dow Jones, for the first time, we're seeing quite a decent rejection, right? We had sell down here, then after that it's pretty much bullish bias. You see the market coming up, and we reach a pretty decent resistance area. And unless the market breaks below this 26600 areas, it's still pretty bullish, right? So unless there's a confirmation, I don't think it's a good time to short. We can short a little bit, but if it were to break above this area, then we have to cut loss, right? But if you want to long, of course you don't long on Monday. We wait for it to maybe retest 26300 areas, and we see if the market holds from this area, right? So in summary, I'm quite bearish biased based on this week's analysis, so I'll be looking for short on the upcoming week. However, I'll be taking a look at the news as well. I'll be seeing if there are any changes to all these things that are happening in the world. If there is positive signs on the macroeconomics and stuff like that, I will change my bias to long. Otherwise, I'll be looking for a short. All right, that's all I have this week. Thank you for listening. I think it's a bit long this week, but as usual, I hope that my analysis help you guys in your trading. All right, thank you. Bye bye. I'll see you guys next week.